Another conversation that people have been kind of expressing is feeling a lot of nausea and sickness in the first trimester and kind of into that week 15, week 16 part. Do you have any tips or suggestions that they can do as far as keeping themselves healthy in this particular climate when you are feeling that sick?
So the number one thing I always tell people, the number one thing you have to do is stay hydrated by any means necessary. Yeah. For some people, water is like something that is a complete turnoff. They're like, I don't want the water. Okay, that's fine. How about coconut water? It comes in multiple different flavors. It has great electrolytes in it. It has potassium in it. And it's a great replacement, right? Pedialyte, another great replacement. Gatorade is fine, but I usually tell people to dilute it. Do like half Gatorade, half water, because Gatorade is mostly a lot of just sugar. I tell people if they like fruit, do fruit that is like really water heavy fruits, like watermelons, cantaloupes, things like that, that don't have a lot of flavor, but at least have the water. Cucumbers, But at the end of the day, eating, it's not really that big of a deal, because the baby is literally living off of food that you ate 3 months ago, right? It's not really mattering what you're eating now. So if you can get the fluids and the hydration in, then that's what's going to make you feel better and go from there. So we tell people crackers at the bedside just to kind of calm the acid in your stomach, because that's something else that contributes to the nausea. And then just try to eat small little bits here and there. Like wait to eat a real meal when you actually feel hungry again.
The important thing is in that beginning is just keeping hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And then other things you can try over the counter is like ginger candies, right? Like the ginger teas. You can do like the C bands that you put around your wrists. You can do. There's always medication that your doctor can prescribe to you as well if you want to go that route. Yeah. Simple stuff like Benadryl, like a little bit of that at night before bedtime can sometimes help. Or over the counter, antacids like Tums, things like that can help. But you just kind of have to figure out what actually works for you.
I remember one of the reasons why when I knew I was pregnant was just that like starvation mode, like that pop of hunger that you get in your first, like I think at like 5 weeks I got it, and I was like, I am ravaging every hour, but then I'm so nauseous. I have had different experiences between my first, second, and third pregnancies. This one now, I mean, I actually was sick 3 times a day, whereas my first, I just had really strong food aversion, and I was starving, and I'm craving nothing, but I'm so hungry and I don't know what to eat, and everything tasted like blah.
Yeah.
And at what point, if the nausea continues past 16 weeks, 17 weeks, or what is that point where you guys are, okay, we're kind of through that first morning sickness phase, that there might be some underlying conversations that need to be done?
So the thing is as you get further along in the pregnancy, you can just have random nausea and vomiting, throughout.
It's inside of you growing, like things are crazy.
It's crazy. But it's like you have to be able to determine what else could be going wrong. So like someone who has it really bad, and it's not just like every morning I throw up, or every evening, like I do really well throughout the day and then at nighttime I get sick. Like those people, it's just like, okay, that's probably just pregnancy related. But the people that are like really sick all day long and can't eat anything and they're starting to lose weight, those are the people you're going to be like, do you have like some thyroid thing going on that we need to like look deeper into? Do you have some weird like GI something that's going on? So like gastrointestinal, do you have something like gallstones or something that's causing things to get activated? Do you have some like weird pancreatitis now that's activated? Do you have some weird gastroparesis for whatever reason? We know that elevated levels of progesterone in the body, which is what happens when you get pregnant, slows down your GI system. Do you have some underlying GI issue that makes the slowdown even worse? And then therefore it becomes painful, and then you get like intractable nausea, vomiting type of thing. But we start to dig a little bit deeper when things start to progress and when they're consistent and you're losing weight.
So do you refer somebody to a specialist, kind of based on, where you're going with that, or do you guys partner with them, or how does that work?
Depends on what it is. We usually do the initial workup, and then depending on what comes out, then yeah, if it's thyroid, for sure, we'll send you off to endocrine and let endocrine take care of you. If it's something GI, then we'll be like, all right, it's GI, off to the gastroenterologist and let them, help manage things. But usually what happens is they turn around and ask us, they'll be like, so what can we give them? We're like, I don't know, that's why I send them to you.
Right. I always think, I'm like, you guys have to be in partnership, because anytime someone's pregnant and they go to another doctor, it's like, well, you're pregnant, you go to your OB, right? And so
I know.
like it's such, like it's so interconnected. So
Yeah.
I was always curious how y'all manage those relationships.
Yeah, usually we're like, you tell us what you would normally give someone, and then we'll say either yes or no off those medications. Because normally it'll be like, sorry, you have to wait until you're not pregnant before I can treat you. And I'm like, then why did I bother sending them to you in the first place if you're not going to help them?
Right. And then maybe it goes back to, do you see that it goes back to diet, a little bit, to try and alleviate some of that stuff without going the medication route if there are concerns with the pregnancy?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I tell everybody to do a food diary because there's always something that's a trigger. There's always going to be something. And once you find out what that trigger is, then you'll be good. But a lot of people are kind of like, but that's all that I want. And I'm like, well, if that's all you want and you don't want to give it up, then you got to deal with the consequences.